Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. Last time we left off with a famous war correspondent at the front, talking about Ernie Pyle, a war correspondent that gets killed um, on the front. Really awful, but very famous war correspondent. Really read a lot of his stories if you can. They're really good. We're now on to Naval Guns Hurl Steel at Okinawa. April 1945. A dose of dynamite for the Japs. The camera, quicker than the eye, caught these 16-inch shells up there as they soared to their distant target at Okinawa. A huge burst of fire and smoke spurts from the guns of the battleship, and the terrific repercussion sets up a streak of foam in the water at the ship's sides. After putting ashore invasion forces, the fleet battered land targets. Yeah, this happens obviously many a times. These battleships, basically water artillery pieces, so you can hurl steel far, far, far downrange, um, and hit targets super, super far away. It's very interesting. The 7th Army storms Hurrik. April 9th, 1945. Advances against rifle fire. Rushing across an open field raked by small arms fire, 7th Army infantrymen assault the blazing town of Hurrik, which was first shelled. Only 34 miles from Nuremberg, the 7th Army was running into strong resistance as it battled across Bavaria. The town of Kreiselheim was seized and thousands of Germans faced entrapment. Yeah, obviously as the forces move up, you're going to have a lot of these Germans getting trapped. They're going to get stopped and things like that, and they're not going to really be able to do anything. Now, a lot of them are going to give up, and realistically, it's probably the best for them at this point. You know, better alive than throwing your life away at this point. I mean, realistically, Germany, like, they have to have known they lost. Giving up, I mean, I know they tried. There's many cases where they tried to give up two separate pieces, but the Allies had agreed at this point not to separate pieces, so. Russians take Baltic prize. April 9th, 1945. Kosenberg falls. Led by a pistol-waving non-com, these red infantrymen charged through a street of Kosenberg, which had resisted the Russian onslaught for weeks. In the battle-scarred street below, tanks overrun enemy positions. Kosenberg was a key fortress for the Germans on the Baltic coast, and its collapse presaged the general German disaster in that sector. Yeah, the Germans, they're holding on to everything for dear life, but the Red Army is going to collapse on them, and there's really nothing they can do to stop it. It's going to happen, and there's no stopping the Reds. They have full might, they have full supplies, they have full everything. There's not really much the Germans can do at that point. The Reds overrun Vienna. April 10th, 1945. Penetrate to heart of capital. Vienna, second largest city of funny mustached man. YouTube really doesn't like that. His name, sorry. Greater Germany was virtually in the hands of the Russians as they stormed into the center of the old capital. Furious Soviet tanks and infantrymen, assaults had carried into the famous city from a siege arc of 98 miles. The picture shows the Uranian building and the Aspern Bridge wrecked by retreating SS troops. Yeah, Vienna, obviously very famed, very old city. It's Austrian. But it really shows just the massive gains the Soviets have. Like, there is literally nothing stopping them. They are going to steamroll everything. Um, and realistically, like, what can the Germans do to stop them? They don't have the supplies, they don't have the men, they don't have the bullets at this point. They don't have anything. Like, they really can't stop the Red Army. Slow it down some, sure. You're basically throwing bodies, making a wall of bodies to slow them down, and that's literally the only thing that they're really doing at this point. It's awful, really. Von Papen is picked from Ruhr Pocket. April 10th, 1945. Former Chancellor is captured. The sportly attired gent sitting grimly in the garden above is Germany's former Chancellor, an envoy to Turkey, Franz von Papen, who was nabbed by American Ninth Army gliders in the Ruhr Pocket. Upper right, he talks to his captors, and in the picture below, he's questioned by Major General Harry L. Twaddle. Von Papen's son is on the left. Yeah, Von Papen, obviously, kind of an important figure. It there's a lot of these big named people are going to be starting to get captured pretty quick here. Some of them are just going to straight up surrender, as we'll see with um, some of the generals and military leaders, because they figured, oh, I'll get a better deal out of this. If you're high up in the government, just going to warn you, you're not going to get such a great deal. The Allies aren't too keen on that right this second. Fighting men take time out for a laugh. April 1945. Morale booster. The ranks of the American armies contained many able professional entertainers who were organized into units to lift the spirits of fighting troops between battles. Here, PFC Mickey Rooney gets broad grins from the Yanks of the 7th Army. As the Allied armies rolled over the Reich in pursuit of the Germans, entertainment units followed along with laughs and songs. Yeah, that's pretty common. This is obviously before our current age of the internet and all that stuff. Where now they just be like, oh yeah, go watch blah 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 blah, or even like television, really, like if you think of it. So you're gonna get these performers out there, and we still do this today. You still can get live performers out on the front basically, and that'll happen. They'll get concerts out there and things like that. But it really helps with morale. It's like, hey, yeah, look, we'll get this famous person here. They'll either sing or they'll do comedy shows or they'll do this or that or whichever. And it really helps boost the morale of a lot of these guys who are at this point kind of low on morale. Miracles of construction and destruction. April 11th, 1945. A bridge is built in 10 days. Erected with metal girders made in Luxembourg and wooden piles cut from German forest, this bridge was thrown across the Rhine at Wesel in just 10 days by Allied engineers. A permanent railroad bridge, it sped supplies to Allied forces sweeping across Germany. Although plans called for construction in 2 weeks, the bridge was actually completed 2 days ahead of schedule. The devastation in the lower picture is what remained of Hamm, railway nerve center in northeast Essen, after its capture by the United States Ninth Army. Yeah, one of the groups of people that doesn't get talked about nearly enough is the engineers during this. You get these engineers that get out there and they'll build bridges, they'll build like contraptions that just like, how did you guys do this so quickly? The bridges is the one that I always think is so crazy because like this, built this in 10 days. Look how big this is. But I guess if you got the freaking determination behind you, you'll get anything done. A little bit of gumption there. But that's going to do it for this video. If you guys liked the video, leave a like. If you have anything on your prove on, please leave a comment. It really helps out the channel. And as always, subscribe. It helps out greatly. Thank you.